Hello and welcome back to Overwatch Database, Emergency Episode Edition. With all the retirements and roster changes that happened in the last few days after we recorded our weekly recap, we decided instead of waiting a whole week, being next week, to do our next recap to discuss the news, we would just do a short episode detailing all the news and kind of breaking it down a bit. It'll be just me today, breaking it down and detailing it. Connor was unable to join on such short notice. So getting into the meat of the news, Erster has announced his retirement from the Shanghai Dragons and the Overwatch League as a whole. This came kind of out of nowhere and was pretty unexpected, at least for me at least. Just to kind of recap this guy's career, he started his career, I believe, in 2017, playing in the Pacific region for Ardent, I believe is the team he played for. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he played for them. He was a standout. He absolutely pounded. He was immensely good, and there was a lot of hype for this guy coming into the Overwatch League. And then he was signed by Atlanta, I believe in season 2 or 3. It was 2 or 3. He got benched and never even played. I don't believe he played once. And this is a guy coming into the league. There was expectations on not only Rookie of the Year, but we were talking about him when he came in as like MVP candidate. Like people were so excited, thought he could be like the best player in the league. Never played one time for Atlanta. We never knew why. A while back on the Dustin Bowerman show, he talked about that. Dogman, because he was a support for Atlanta at the time that Erster was on the roster, mentioned that kind of in a roundabout way that he had some issues with like work ethic and showing up for every scrim and putting in, 100% effort with the rest of the team and stuff like that. So he kind of hinted that that was kind of the issue. So then this guy gets signed by Shanghai coming into this season, and we kind of thought, okay, maybe it's a redemption chance for him. Maybe being in a full, roster where you kind of speak the same language with everybody, because that Atlanta roster was mixed. So maybe being in a roster like Shanghai's would kind of help him acclimate better. And apparently that wasn't the case. I don't know if he still had, the same issues with work ethic and whatnot, and that's why he didn't play with Shanghai or not. But the fact of the matter is he did retire. So that was some pretty big news that kind of just like came out of left field. And then following that, I believe it was the next day or the day after, Shanghai announced a replacement for him. And this is where it got even more interesting. So Shanghai picked up WhoRU. Now, for anybody that doesn't remember him, he was dominant in Contenders way back in the day, played a bit for the NYXL back in like season 1 or 2, but this guy hasn't played in years. So I'm not sure exactly. It was, I kind of compare it to the Pine signing for Dallas. It's like this guy hasn't played in forever, so we don't really know what we're going to see out of WhoRU. If I'm going to guess, I'm going to say he was picked up to play Genji, probably specifically in this meta, being that we have the hero bans and everything going on. But it also sounds like he was just recently picked up. But the way they worded it in the statement that the Shanghai Dragons put out kind of made it sound like he's going to play. I'll read the statement here, and we'll have it up in the video for everybody watching as well. So the Dragons said in a statement on Twitter, "We are very honored to announce that DPS player WhoRU has officially become a member of the Shanghai Dragons. He will be showcasing his talent." That's kind of a key point to me that says he's going to play. "As an important part of the Dragons on our upcoming journey and battle for victory. As one of the most talented young players, WhoRU has always amazed us with his plays. Now he chooses to continue his legacy and return to the Overwatch League. We are beyond excited and look forward to his return." So that was their statement. And it's a very interesting pickup. I think, first of all, Lip and Fleta have been perfectly fine. And I don't really think that them picking up another player is a bad thing, but just being who they picked up and it being WhoRU is very strange. I would surely imagine, though, it's got to be just strictly play Genji, because this guy doesn't play hit scan or anything as far as I know. So really interesting pickup there. So that's kind of the Shanghai news. Switching gears to the Vancouver Titans, Shredlock, their tank player, announced his retirement from the Overwatch League. I don't know if he gave an exact reason why. I know in the thing I saw, he said that he's going to hang around Vancouver for a couple more months, just kind of hang out, visit some places or something, and then I think return to school. So that's really cool for him. That's what he wants to do, and the direction he wants to go with schooling and all that. My kind of theory as to why he retired is I just think, first of all, let's just be honest about it. He hasn't been that great in the Overwatch League. But with that said, I was still kind of surprised to see he retired. And if I was going to have to guess, I'm going to say it's just the fact that he was kind of put on this team and they've done nothing. And basically this is the second season of doing absolutely nothing. And they've been really bad. So I can imagine showing up every day for a team and org that doesn't seem like they really care. Because let's be honest, the Vancouver Titans organization, ever since they dropped the runaway roster back in season 3 at the very beginning, they have not put their players in positioned to succeed whatsoever. They have not. If I don't blame him for this decision in the sense that you're showing up every day to work, you're practicing, you're giving this organization your all, and they're doing nothing to help you, nothing to help the team succeed. It's probably mentally, draining and exhausting. He probably figured he couldn't probably get a job on another team. So I think it's a good decision for him and, to further his education and do all that. So I'm really happy that he's doing what he feels like is best for him, but it is going to be, sad to see him go. As for a replacement for him, I don't think this has been announced as of today. There's just the rumor that they're going to pick up Chauncey to replace him. Now, I'm going to be honest, I know nothing about Chauncey at all. The one thing I have heard from generally in the community is that I think he hasn't played in like 2 years or something like that. So it's another case of these teams picking up players that haven't played in an extremely long time. But I believe at this time that is just a rumor. But I do expect that to be a pretty substantial one that probably will come to fruition. Oh, okay. I see here where it actually was just confirmed that he's joining the roster. Okay. So that's good to see because they actually didn't have another main tank on the roster, so they were going to have to sign someone very quickly. Moving over to some more somber news. A couple days ago, Logic shared on his Twitter that he was COVID positive and in the ER, actually, I think due to some low oxygen levels. He did tweet today, as of this recording, that he was home and feeling a whole lot better. So really glad to see that he's doing better and getting better quickly. The Toronto Defiant organization also did a statement stating that 3 people in their whole organization have tested positive for COVID. And I'll read that statement here and we'll also show that in the video. So their official statement on their Twitter was, "We want to thank all of our fans for their support and well wishes. The health and safety of our players and staff have and always will be our main priority. We have 3 positive COVID-19 cases within our Defiant organization. We have been in touch with Toronto Public Health, and we are following their instructions and recommendations. Direct and indirect contacts in our organization have been tested and in some cases retested. We will update our community once we receive more definitive information. Thank you for your patience and support." So I don't know if that means 3 people in the organization, like staff or coaches separate of Logix, have tested positive, or Logix is one of the 3. Nonetheless, that's something you don't want to see. But it sounds like everybody is doing okay as of right now, and Logix is home and getting better. Now, because of that, that kind of had a ripple effect on the team. Obviously, Logix will not be playing. I believe they have 2 upcoming matches. Actually, as the time of this video being posted, they will be playing or have played them. So to help with that, they did sign some reinforcements. They signed Aspire from American Tornado and Contenders on a 30-day contract. So I'm assuming specifically to just replace Logix while he's gone. I really hope this guy pops off and maybe can land like a full year contract for the rest of the season with the team. That's probably unlikely. I imagine as soon as the 30 days is up and Logix is back, he probably will be released. But I really hope to see this guy succeed. He's been really good in contenders, in EU contenders. American Tornado has been really good, and he has played super well. So don't be surprised if he comes in and he's a really good replacement and has really great results with the team. I mean, this is a team that we've talked about is kind of a bad 4-2 team because they've had an easy schedule. They have a really tough schedule this weekend. Maybe they pull off an upset or 2. He plays really well. That could have some really big ripple effects on the team. So don't just assume this is a negative thing. This could actually be really positive for the Defiant going forward. As for what he plays, I believe he plays a lot of hit scan, and that was obviously the reason he was the one picked up to replace Logic. I know he has a lot of Ashe and Widowmaker on his resume. I believe he can play Tracer as well. Obviously, Tracer is banned right now. So I think he was picked up strictly for the hit scan role, but I'm mainly just going off what I've heard. I have watched a little bit of EU contenders this year and a few American Tornado games and seen him play, so I do know that for a fact. So yeah, really looking forward to see kind of what he does. And, just to see how all these, changes affect some of the results this weekend. Erster retiring, just to recap, at first didn't really seem like a big thing, but as far as affecting Shanghai, because of the fact he hadn't played anyway, but then they signed WhoRU, so maybe we'll see WhoRU play this weekend. We might see them just run him on Genji. Shredlock retiring, Chauncey coming in to replace him on short notice. We don't know what's going to happen there. And then Logix being out and Aspire replacing him. So a lot of stuff to look forward to this weekend, just to kind of see some of these new guys and replacements. I'm sure some of them will play. So with that, I think that pretty much covers all the big news we kind of had. And really, for being in the middle of the season when a lot of teams don't make crazy changes, that was a lot of changes and stuff happening over like the course of 2 days. I think all this happened. So a lot going on there. Just wanted to get all that news out quicker than, with next week's recap. So thank you for watching the video. We hope it was really informative for you guys to kind of get some more information about all this going on with all the retirements and players being signed and whatnot, and the COVID in the Toronto Defiant org. Make sure you check out our upcoming video we will have in a day or so, which will be our video kind of going over everything they showed in the PvP developer live stream. That was like a week ago or so. We'll be going over all that, kind of giving our take on all the stuff they showed and what to expect from Overwatch 2. And then, of course, next week we will have our power rankings and weekly recap as normal, with, I'm sure, more news and probably some perspective on how some of these guys performed this week with all the retirements and whatnot. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications. You can follow us on our Twitter for more info, and we share a lot more on there when we're going to be posting stuff as well. And we'll catch you next time.